We're seeing a temperature of 49 degrees with clear skies. We'll have the winds in place again tomorrow and into Monday as well. But daytime highs for your Sunday right around the upper 50s. We might get close to 60 degrees, but the big story is going to be how cold things get overnight. I'm forecasting overnight lows anywhere in the upper 20s, low 30s. As we look at tomorrow afternoon, yeah, a lot of sunshine, but a lot of wind once we head into the later part of the afternoon. Daytime highs in the low to the mid 50s. These are what our temperatures were earlier this morning as we started off this morning. Upper 20s, low 30s, a little bit warmer the more south you got away from the city of Aurora. You saw a temperature earlier this morning of 36 degrees, and along the east side of the state, single digits. You know we're transitioning when we're looking at single digits temperatures for your overnight lows. That was the case east of the mountains. But again, we have that freeze warning that will be in place throughout parts of the valley. That includes parts of basically Corvallis and McMinnville overnight and into tomorrow morning. But again, we have that ridge of high pressure in place that is going to be with us over the next couple of days, and that big H brings in a lot of sunshine. But what about Halloween? I'll let you know what you can expect to see as you get ready to go trick-or-treating in just a few days.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Well, a potential teacher strike in Oregon's largest district is now just 4 days away. This morning, Portland teachers did something different in hopes of reaching a last-minute deal. Thomas Schultz has the story.
With a potential teacher strike just a couple school days away, more than 1,000 people marched through downtown Portland, brandishing signs and streaming across bridges, all part of an effort to push negotiations with Portland Public Schools forward.
The negotiations have been hard.
Hard, without either side budging much on demands. Teachers want more planning time in smaller classrooms.
I have 180 students, and in order to give 5 minutes of feedback, that is 15 hours of work.
Another big issue, pay. The two sides are still far apart on wage hikes over the next 3 years.
It does not help retain quality educators and diverse educators when they can't afford to live in the city.
And Portland teachers aren't the only ones marching on Saturday. Parents are out here too, looking for more resources for their classrooms.
My son is in a class of 31, and he has an amazing teacher, but would his experience be better in a class of 25? Yeah, 100%.
Though a Portland public spokesperson says the average elementary classroom is 23 students. And as for the rest of the teachers' wants, district administrators say they don't have enough money.
Our proposal on the table right now will require budget cuts in this year and the next 3 years.
We're not gonna take it.
Though teachers are becoming more frustrated, and after bargaining for almost 11 months,
the chances are pretty high that we will have to be on strike on Wednesday.
In Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
The union and school district will continue bargaining on Monday and Tuesday in hopes of a deal ahead of the Wednesday strike date. Tonight, a bit of closure for those in Maine following this week's mass shooting that left 18 people dead in the city of Lewiston. Last night, the shooting suspect was found dead in the woods. Police say they found 40-year-old Robert Card dead near a recycling plant where he used to work, not far from where his abandoned car was found in the town of Lisbon Wednesday night. Investigators say he died of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. A gun was found on the ground next to him. Tonight, there was a candlelight vigil as victims' families slowly learn more about their loved ones' last moments. And because of the shelter-in-place orders during the manhunt, many families haven't had a chance to gather and to grieve. Thankfully, though, they can now do that. And many families plan to have memorial services in the next few weeks.
Attention, citizens of Gaza, listen carefully. This is an urgent military advisory from the Israel Defense Forces. For your immediate safety, we urge all residents of northern Gaza and Gaza City to temporarily relocate south.
Well, that was an urgent call for Palestinians to evacuate to the south of the Gaza Strip ahead of a planned Israeli operation. Israel launched an expanded ground operation on Saturday after knocking out communications and creating a near blackout of information in the Gaza Strip, with increased bombardment and artillery fire overnight. The Israeli military said it had expanded its military operations there with troops still in the field, and that its warplanes had hit 150 underground Hamas targets, including tunnels.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
And today, a rally was held in protest of the war in Gaza. Activists were outside Senator Merkley's office in downtown Portland to demand Portland congressional leaders call for a ceasefire in Gaza. Now, we reached out to Senator Merkley's office for comment, but haven't heard back yet. Now, according to Palestinian health officials, more than 7,000 people have died in Gaza. In Israel, about 1,400 people have died. Well, let's get to some breaking national news. It is a sad day for fans of the 90s sitcom Friends. Actor Matthew Perry, who played Chandler, has died in California. That's according to a representative for the actor, who said he died of an apparent drowning at his home. Now, a source from law enforcement said there was no apparent foul play. Perry was 54 years old. And closer to home now, we're following a fire that broke out in Portland's Goose Hollow neighborhood. And take a look at the smoke that could be seen for miles today. This happened a little before 5:30 tonight along Southwest Market Street off Clay and 17th Avenue. Portland Fire don't believe anyone was inside the building when they arrived, and there's no word yet on what started the fire, but we'll keep you updated as we get more info. Well, new tonight, Seaside police need your help finding an 18-year-old accused of an attack and a vehicle theft. Police say Isaiah Thompson is accused of assaulting a driver before stealing their car and taking off. The victim was sent to the hospital in critical condition. Thompson then crashed the car at an intersection and ran away. He faces several charges, including attempted murder, robbery, and unlawful use of a weapon. They believe Thompson is homeless. If you know anything about him, call the Seaside Police Department. Well, a Portland father is sounding the alarm. He says a woman, apparently in crisis, tried to kidnap his daughter from a local playground. As Catherine Cook reports, it's a spot that neighbors say is becoming more and more dangerous.
Stop this woman and get my daughter back now.
The words flashed through Scott Marr's mind when a visit to Couch Park with his daughter took a terrifying turn.
In minutes, this woman comes trotting into the area.
It was October 12th, around 6 p.m. Scott says his 7-year-old daughter was on the playground off Northwest Gleason, and that's when the woman came over, wearing nothing but a t-shirt.
So I called 911 because it's totally inappropriate to have a half-naked woman climbing on a structure, doing flips, falling down, all sorts of stuff with kids.
While on the phone with dispatchers, Scott says the woman grabbed his daughter and tried to run off with her.
The woman literally got 5 steps before I grabbed the back of her head by her ponytail, put her down on the ground, and got my daughter and got out of her.
Police tell KGW the woman was having a mental health crisis and was hospitalized on a police officer hold. Scott says his daughter was scared, but not injured.
Had this been an adult male on crack with a weapon, this could have totally been a different outcome.
Just last month, neighbors reported an incident involving a guy with a machete at Couch Park. They say he used it to threaten people as they walked by. Neighbors held a rally against increased illegal activity in this area. They noted there's always illegal camping and open drug use in the park, and that the city's response has been slow.
It's pretty sad. It's sad. I'm hoping neighbors getting together can perhaps change things. We can make a presence in the park and take our park back.
Police say while they didn't have probable cause to arrest the man, they did take his machete. They also said they'd ramp up patrols around the park. Scott says more needs to be done. Much more.
I really want the city of Portland to really start working towards a better solution in solving the homeless problem, because now a child's been involved.
In Northwest Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Well, switching gears to safety on our crosswalks, rain, shine, or even snow, they help make sure our children safely cross the street. Though as China Green reports, for one crossing guard in Newburgh, it's also about bringing joy.
He's just been ingrained in this community.
Just like everyone else, 27-year-old Nicholas Morrow.
He is the light of our family. I'm just gonna cry.
Wakes up and gets ready for work. But his routine looks a little different.
At 6 months, he was given the diagnosis of cerebral palsy and cortical vision impairment, and the seizures, of course.
Nicholas can't see or speak, but his mom, Rachel Morrow, says you can usually tell what's on his mind.
He's very expressive.
Which is probably the same thing for all of us in the morning.
If he's tired, sometimes he lets me know. He has a certain way letting me know. He don't want to go to work. I said, but you gotta go to work.
As for his caretaker, Sonia Sanchez.
It's not a job to me. I love every aspect of it. There's not one thing I do not like.
She feeds Nicholas and gets him to work. On time, conveniently right down the road at Mabel Rush Elementary School.
You had a good day? All right.
He's a crossing guard.
See you tomorrow.
With Sonia's help.
Okay. So Nicholas is in front, and I have the back part. There's Spider Boy. How are ya? And I start. Great. How was school? Waving and crossing. That's the new thing. And Nicholas will be there, bright orange, sometimes kicking his feet, joining in, letting them know we're on our way.
Working before and after school.
He's very kind and he's very nice.
How are ya?
The kiddos are often curious about Nicholas.
Their little faces show the way they look. They're curious about not only him, but me too, and what it is we do and possibly why we do it. And so I let him know.
At first he was a little taken aback, but he seems to he's asked questions and kind of opened his idea of what it looks like for people like Nicholas.
We are a great team.
If you hang out on the corner with these two, it won't take long for you to see the waves and hear the honks.
I think it's great, honestly. It's the sweetest thing I've ever seen, and everybody's always so welcoming, and it's so heartwarming to watch.
Nicholas is even out here when you don't want to be.
Every day, rain or shine. Rain or shine. I mean, there are some days I don't want to be out here walking, little miss to school, but it's definitely amazing to have them both here.
And that was the goal of getting him a job, is to be active in the community. My husband and I are not going to be here forever. The community will be, and I want to make sure that he's taken care of for his life, for the rest of his life.
For KGW News, I'm China Green.
Well, check out this haunted house at the Oregon School for the Deaf. It's in Salem and has been running for over 30 years. Students volunteer after school, working on the sets and costumes all year long. Take a listen to what one student enjoys most about creating this haunted house.
It's a great place to express myself, and I love being an actor, and I love scaring people. It's just so much fun. It's kind of a happy place. I feel I really enjoy what I'm doing.
Now, if you missed a chance to stop by this weekend, don't worry, there are still tickets for next weekend, and they start at $20.